It was 6:47 in the morning when Marcus Chen pushed his cleaning cart down the main hallway of St. Vincent's Hospital. The wheels squeaked like they always did. That sound had become part of his life over the past 5 years. Behind him walked 2 small figures, his daughters Sophia and Grace, 7-year-old twins with dark eyes and matching pink backpacks that were almost as big as they were. Their mother had been gone for 2 years now. A brain aneurysm took her without warning. One moment she was laughing in the kitchen. The next she was on the floor. Just like that. Gone. And Marcus was left with 2 little girls who needed their daddy more than ever, and a grief that sat in his chest like a stone he couldn't swallow. "Daddy," Sophia whispered. Her voice echoed down the empty corridor. "Why do we have to be here so early?" "Because Mrs. Kim can't watch you until 8, baby girl." Marcus knelt down and adjusted Grace's backpack. "And Daddy's got to work." Grace looked down the hallway. There were doctors walking past in their white coats, stethoscopes hanging around their necks. They looked important, confident, like they belonged there. Then she looked back at her father, at his grey janitor's uniform, at the mop he was holding, at the name tag that was slightly crooked on his chest. "Daddy," Grace said quietly, "why don't you wear a white coat like other daddies?" The question hit Marcus like a punch to the gut. He felt his throat tighten. "Because I'm not a doctor anymore, sweetheart. I clean the hospital. We wear different uniforms." "But you were a doctor," Sophia said. "Mommy told us before she died." Marcus pulled both girls close. "Yeah," he said softly. "I was a doctor once. A long time ago." "Why'd you stop?" The honest answer was too painful for a 7-year-old to hear. 5 years ago, Marcus had been doctor. Marcus Chen, chief surgical resident, on track to become the youngest attending surgeon in the hospital's history, until he'd made a mistake. A fatal one. He'd been awake for 36 hours straight, too proud to admit he was exhausted, too stubborn to ask for help. A routine appendectomy went wrong, and the patient died on his table. Marcus had quit the next day. He couldn't look at a scalpel without seeing blood, couldn't wear a white coat without feeling the weight of death. So he'd taken the only job the hospital would give him. Janitor. A way to stay close to medicine without practicing it. Penance for the life he'd taken. "Sometimes life changes," Marcus finally answered. "And we've got to change with it." He stood up. "Come on, let's finish this floor. Then we'll get breakfast before school." They walked together through the surgical wing, past operating rooms where Marcus had once saved lives, past doctors who didn't even recognize him anymore. That's when Dr. Richard Blackwood appeared. He was the chief of surgery now, the man who'd gotten the position Marcus had once dreamed of. In his 50s, with silver hair and a white coat so pristine, it looked like he changed it every hour. Blackwood stopped when he saw them. A cruel smile spread across his face. "Well, well," he said, "if it isn't our favorite janitor, making the hospital presentable for those of us who actually matter." Marcus kept his head down. "Morning, Dr. Blackwood." But Blackwood wasn't done. He'd noticed the girls, and he leaned down with this fake friendliness that made Marcus's skin crawl. "And who are these little ones, your daughters?" "Yes, sir," Marcus said quietly. "They're just here until their babysitter gets in." Blackwood's smile got wider. "How sweet. Teaching them the family business?" He stood up, looked directly at Marcus, made sure the other doctors in the hallway were listening. "You know, girls, your daddy used to be a doctor. Did he tell you that?" Both girls nodded. "He was almost good at it too," Blackwood continued. His voice carried down the corridor now. Almost. But sometimes almost isn't enough in medicine. Sometimes almost kills people. The words landed like stones. Other doctors stopped walking. Nurses paused. Everyone was watching now. "That's enough," Marcus said, his voice harder than before. "Is it?" Blackwood asked. "I'm just being honest. Children should know the truth about their father. That he couldn't handle the pressure. That he quit when things got hard. That he's a quitter." Blackwood straightened his white coat. Made absolutely sure Marcus saw him do it. "Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got actual medical work to do. Lives to save. You know, doctor things." He walked away, white coat swaying behind him. Laughter echoing down the hall. Marcus just stood there, frozen. His hands clenched so tight around the mop handle that his knuckles turned white. "Daddy," Sophia whispered. There were tears in her eyes. "Why was that man so mean to you?" Marcus swallowed hard. "Some people are just unhappy, baby girl. They try to make others feel small so they can feel big." "But you're not small," Grace said firmly. "You're our daddy." "That's right," Marcus said. His voice was shaking. "And that's the most important thing I'll ever be." But as he watched Blackwood disappear around the corner, something burned in Marcus's chest. Not anger. Shame. His daughters had just watched him get humiliated, had heard a stranger call their father a quitter, a failure, nothing. And Marcus hadn't done a damn thing to defend himself. Because deep down, he believed Blackwood was right. At 9:15 that morning, Marcus dropped the girls off at Mrs. Kim's house. Then he headed back to the hospital. Started his rounds like always. He cleaned the emergency department, mopped the cafeteria, emptied trash in the doctor's lounge. That's where he heard it. "Doctor." Blackwood was on his phone, pacing back and forth, agitated. "Yes, I understand it's high risk," Blackwood was saying. "But this is exactly the kind of case that makes careers. Stage 4 glioblastoma. If I can remove it, I'll be in every medical journal in the country." He paused, listening to whoever was on the other end. "I don't care that 3 other surgeons refused. That's what makes it legendary. Schedule it for this afternoon, 2 p.m., and make sure the board's watching." Marcus stopped mopping, just stood there listening. "Who's the patient?" someone in the lounge asked. Blackwood checked his notes. "Elena Martinez, 42 years old, single mother, 2nd grade teacher." Marcus's blood ran cold. Elena Martinez, Grace's teacher. The woman who'd helped his daughter get through her grief. Who'd cried with Marcus at parent-teacher conferences. Who'd been more than just a teacher to his little girl. And Blackwood saw her as nothing but a trophy. A career-defining moment. Marcus's hands tightened on the mop. "I'll do the temporal approach," Blackwood continued. "Fast and aggressive. The board's going to be impressed as hell. The temporal approach." Marcus knew that technique inside and out. And he knew it was completely wrong for this type of tumor. Too risky. Too much damage to healthy tissue. There was a better way. The parietal approach. It was longer. More difficult. But it was safer. Marcus had actually pioneered that technique during his residency. He'd published papers on it. But it required something Blackwood didn't have. Patience. Humility. Marcus finished his shift in a complete daze, picked up his daughters, made them dinner. But his mind was racing the whole time. Elena was going to die. Not from the tumor, from Blackwood's ego. That night, after the girls went to bed, Marcus pulled out his old medical textbooks. He hacked into the hospital system with his old credentials. Nobody had ever bothered to deactivate them. He pulled up Elena's scans, and his worst fears were confirmed. Blackwood's approach would kill her. There was a 60% chance of catastrophic brain damage, 80% chance she'd die on the table. Marcus made detailed notes, printed out his old research, put together a complete surgical plan. At 2 in the morning, he drove back to the hospital, went straight to Blackwood's office, left everything on his desk with a note. Doctor, Blackwood, your approach to the Martinez case is wrong. The temporal entry will cause irreversible damage. Use the parietal corridor instead. I've attached all my research. Please reconsider. A life depends on it. Doctor. The next morning, Marcus got to work at 6:30 a.m. Dropped the girls off at Mrs. Kim's house early. Headed back to the hospital. At 7:45, his supervisor found him. Marcus Webb. Former military guy. Hard but fair. Chen, Webb said, we need to talk. Marcus felt his chest tighten. Yes, sir. Doctor. Blackwood filed a complaint against you. Says you left materials in his office. Tried to interfere with the surgery. Overstepped your position as a janitor. Marcus's jaw clenched. I was just trying to help. You're not a doctor anymore, Webb said. You gave up that right. And Doctor, Blackwood wants you banned from the surgical wing. For how long? Permanently. Marcus felt like the floor had just dropped out from under him. The surgical wing was where Elena's operation would happen. If he couldn't be there, he couldn't stop Blackwood. Please, Marcus said. Just let me observe from the viewing deck. I won't interfere. I won't say a word. I just need to be there. Webb studied him for a long moment. Saw something in Marcus's eyes that made him pause. One condition, Webb finally said. You stay in that deck. You don't come down. You don't speak unless spoken to. You observe only. That's it. Marcus nodded. Thank you. At 1:45 that afternoon, Marcus walked into the observation deck above operating room 3. The room was already packed. Board of directors, hospital administrators, medical students. Everybody wanted to see Blackwood's legendary surgery. Marcus sat in the back row, invisible in his grey janitor's uniform. At exactly 2:00 p.m., Elena Martinez was wheeled into the operating room. She was already unconscious. Her head had been shaved, marked with surgical lines. Marcus gripped the railing so hard his hands hurt. Then Blackwood walked in, already scrubbed, already ready. He looked up at the observation deck, saw all the board members watching, smiled, nodded to them. Then his eyes found Marcus in the back row. Recognition flickered across his face. Then contempt. Pure contempt. Blackwood leaned toward the intercom. His voice crackled through the speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today, you're going to witness a procedure that only a handful of surgeons would even attempt. The removal of an inoperable glioblastoma through direct temporal access. There was applause from the observation deck. Blackwood continued. Now, some people have suggested alternative approaches, more conservative approaches, more timid approaches, but I believe in pushing boundaries. That's how medicine advances. His eyes never left Marcus. The message was crystal clear. This was a challenge, a middle finger to everything Marcus had written in that note. The surgery began. Incision made, skull opened, brain tissue exposed. Marcus watched every single movement. His medical training was screaming at him. 10 minutes in, he saw it. The angle was wrong. Blackwood was going too deep, too fast. Marcus stood up, rushed to the front of the observation deck. A security guard stepped forward immediately. Sir, you need to sit down. Marcus ignored him completely. He pressed the intercom button. Doctor. Blackwood. His voice filled the operating room. You're approaching the motor cortex at the wrong angle. If you keep going, you're gonna cause permanent paralysis. Blackwood's hand stopped. He looked up at the observation deck, and there was pure fury in his eyes. Who the hell let him in here? Get security up there. Remove him now. 2 guards grabbed Marcus by the arms. Wait, a voice said. It was Dr. Sarah Kim, the anesthesiologist. She was young, maybe early 30s, and she was brave enough to speak up. Doctor. Blackwood, she said, with all due respect. The patient's vitals are becoming unstable. Heart rate spiking. Blood pressure's dropping. That's normal for this stage, Blackwood snapped. It's really not, Dr. Kim insisted. Something's wrong here. Marcus pulled free from one of the guards. Press the intercom button again. Doctor. Blackwood, please. I'm begging you. Elena Martinez is my daughter's teacher. She's got 2 children of her own. You're going the wrong way. Blackwood slammed his scalpel down on the tray. The sound echoed through the operating room. He looked up at the observation deck. At all the board members watching this unfold. Fine, he said. His voice was tight with rage. Jen, if you're so damn confident, come down here and show me yourself. The room went completely silent. Blackwood continued. That's right. Come on down here. Put on some scrubs. Show everyone what the great Dr. Chen can actually do. Marcus looked at the board chairman. Dr. Robert Chen. No relation, but a man Marcus had always respected. The chairman stood up slowly. Doctor. Blackwood, this is highly irregular. So is having a janitor interrupt surgery, Blackwood shot back. But if he's gonna criticize my work, he should be willing to back it up. The chairman looked at Marcus. Do you still have active medical credentials? No, sir, Marcus admitted. I haven't practiced in 5 years. Then you can't operate, the chairman said simply. But I can consult, Marcus said. I'm not asking to touch the patient. I'm asking to guide Dr. Blackwood through the correct approach. Blackwood actually laughed. You want me to take instructions from a janitor? Chairman Chen's voice cut through the room like a knife. Doctor. Blackwood, the patient is actively deteriorating. If Dr. Chen's approach can save her life, your ego shouldn't prevent us from trying. He looked back at Marcus. You've got 15 minutes to prove your method works. If it doesn't, you leave this hospital permanently. Do we have an understanding? Marcus nodded. Yes, sir. Security escorted him down to the operating room, handed him a surgical mask. Let him stand at the edge of the sterile field. The entire board of directors followed. They crowded into every observation window, into every corner they could find. This was unprecedented. Nobody had ever seen anything like this. Marcus walked up to the operating table, looked down at Elena's exposed brain, saw the damage Blackwood had already caused. We need to retract 2 centimeters, Marcus said. His voice was steady now. Move lateral. There's a natural corridor between the tissue planes, right? There. Blackwood's hands didn't move. He just stood there. Doctor. Blackwood, the chairman said from the observation window. Follow his instructions. Blackwood adjusted his position. Slowly. Grudgingly. Like every movement physically hurt him. Right there, Marcus said. You see that pathway? That's your entry point. 0 healthy tissue damage. Straight shot to the tumor. Blackwood worked in complete silence, following Marcus's guidance. The tumor finally came into view on the monitors. Okay, now begin excision from the posterior margin, Marcus instructed. Work your way forward. Be careful to preserve all the vascular structures. The surgery continued like that. Hour after hour after hour. Marcus talking Blackwood through every single step. Every cut, every movement. The board watched in absolute silence. They were witnessing something impossible. A janitor performing brain surgery through words alone. After 3.5 hours, the tumor was finally out. Clean margins all around. No major damage to surrounding tissue. Blackwood stepped back from the table, looked at the monitors. Elena's vitals were stable. Strong even. He turned to look at Marcus. Their eyes met across the operating table. Marcus spoke quietly, but his voice carried through the entire room. 5 years ago, I made a mistake that killed a patient. I'd been awake for 36 hours straight. I was exhausted. I was arrogant. I thought I could do anything. He paused. I couldn't. And a man died because of my pride. I quit the next day because I couldn't risk taking another life. Marcus looked directly at Blackwood. But you've been making mistakes like this for years. Hiding behind your title. Behind your reputation. Behind your ego. The room was so quiet you could hear people breathing. This morning, my daughters asked me why I don't wear a white coat like other daddies. And you heard them. You mocked me in front of them. Called me a quitter. Called me a failure. Made them watch their father get humiliated. Marcus's voice grew stronger. But here's the difference between us, Doctor. Blackwood. I quit to save lives. You keep going just to feed your ego. I'm not a doctor anymore. But you stopped being a doctor the moment you forgot that. Patients are people, not case studies, not career opportunities. People. Chairman Chen stepped forward. He'd heard every word. Doctor. Blackwood, he said. In light of what we've all witnessed here today, the board has reached a decision. Blackwood's face went pale. You're relieved of your position as chief of surgery. Effective immediately. You'll undergo a complete review of your entire surgical history. And you're suspended from all procedures pending the results of that investigation. But Blackwood started. This discussion is over, the chairman said firmly. He turned to Marcus. Doctor. Chen, on behalf of this board, I apologize for how you've been treated in this hospital, for how we failed to see your value, for everything. He extended his hand. We'd like to offer you a position. Surgical consultant. 20 hours a week. You'd guide our surgeons through complex cases. Teach our residents. Save lives. Marcus looked at the chairman's hand, then at Elena lying on the table. Alive. Breathing. Saved. He thought about his daughters, waiting at Mrs. Kim's house right now, probably wondering where their daddy was. Thank you, sir, Marcus said. But I need some time to think about it. Of course, the chairman said. Take all the time you need. Security escorted Blackwood out of the operating room. He was still wearing his scrubs, still had his surgical mask hanging around his neck. His white coat was left behind on a chair, like a snake shedding its skin. The man's entire career had been destroyed in less than 4 hours. Marcus walked out of the operating room, pulled off his mask, just stood there in the hallway for a moment, breathing, processing everything that had just happened. His supervisor found him there, Marcus Webb. That was something else, Webb said quietly. Marcus nodded. Is my janitor job still safe? Webb actually smiled. Your job is whatever the hell you want it to be now, Chen. That evening, Marcus picked up his daughters from Mrs. Kim's house, drove them home, made spaghetti for dinner like always. Over dinner, Grace looked up at him. Daddy, Mrs. Kim told us something happened at the hospital today. Marcus smiled a little. What did she tell you? That you saved someone's life. I helped save someone's life, Marcus corrected. That's all. Was it because of what we asked you this morning? Sophia said. About the white coat? Marcus thought about that question. In a way, yeah, he finally said. Your question reminded me of something I'd forgotten. What? That being a doctor isn't about what you wear. It's about what you do when somebody needs help. So you're a doctor again? Grace asked. I don't know yet, sweetheart, Marcus said honestly. But I'm your daddy. And that's always going to be the most important thing I am. 3 days later, Elena Martinez woke up in her hospital room. No deficits. No damage. Just alive. She asked to see Marcus. He went to visit her that afternoon. Found her sitting up in bed. Actually smiling. They told me what you did, she said. How you saved my life. I'm just glad you're okay, Marcus said. My children still have their mother, Elena said. Tears were streaming down her face now. Because of you. Marcus sat down in the chair beside her bed. You helped my daughter when her mother died, he said. You were there for Grace when I couldn't be. This is just me returning the favor. Elena reached out and took his hand. Grace talks about you all the time, you know. She's so proud of her daddy. Even though I'm just a janitor? You're not just anything, Elena said firmly. You're a hero, Marcus. Don't you ever forget that. 1 week later, Marcus accepted the hospital's offer. Surgical consultant. 20 hours a week. Home by 4 o'clock every single day. On his first day back, they gave him a brand new white coat. Fresh and clean. With his name embroidered on the chest in blue thread. Dr. Marcus Chen, surgical consultant. He put it on slowly, felt the weight of it on his shoulders. It felt different than it had 5 years ago. This time, it had been earned through humility, not arrogance. That afternoon, his daughters came to visit him after school. Mrs. Kim brought them by. They stood in the hallway and just stared. Their father in a white coat, stethoscope around his neck, talking with other doctors like he belonged there. Because he did belong there. Grace tugged on Mrs. Kim's hand. That's our daddy, she said. Her voice was filled with pride. Yes, Mrs. Kim smiled, that is your daddy. Marcus saw them standing there. He excused himself from the conversation he was having, walked over to his daughters, knelt down so he was at their eye level. Well, he said, what do you think? You look like a real doctor, Sophia said. I am a real doctor, Marcus said gently. But more importantly, I'm your real daddy. Why'd you decide to wear the white coat today? Grace asked. Marcus thought about how to answer that. Because I finally remembered something important, he said. The coat doesn't make the doctor. The doctor makes the coat mean something. He pulled both of them into a hug. And you too, he whispered, you made me remember that. What happened to the mean doctor? Sophia asked. He's gone, Marcus said. He forgot what being a doctor really means. And you didn't forget? I forgot for a while, Marcus admitted, but you reminded me. How? By asking one simple question. Grace smiled up at him. Why don't you wear a white coat like other daddies? Exactly, Marcus said. That one question changed everything. 5 years later, Marcus stood in front of an auditorium full of medical school graduates, 300 students in their brand new white coats, all of them eager to start saving lives. He'd been invited to give the commencement address. When I was your age, he began, I thought being a doctor meant being the best, the most skilled surgeon, the most successful. He paused and looked out at all those young faces. I was wrong about that. The auditorium went completely silent. Being a doctor isn't about being the best, he continued. It's about showing up when people need you. It's about admitting when you're wrong. It's about remembering that every single patient is somebody's mother or father or child. He smiled. 5 years ago, My twin daughters asked me why I didn't wear a white coat anymore. And I realized something that day. The coat doesn't make you a doctor. Your actions do. His voice grew stronger. So wear your white coats with pride. But remember, they're just fabric. What makes you a doctor is what you do when you take that coat off. How you treat people. How you show up for your family. How you stay human in a profession that can sometimes make you forget what that means. The applause that followed was thunderous. Students stood up. Some of them were crying. After the speech, Marcus found his daughters waiting for him in the lobby. Grace was 17 now, Sophia right beside her. Both of them had grown into strong, confident young women, ready to take on the world, just like their father had taught them to do. One question at a time.